Making these videos with you, and now I'm here. Same as it ever was. Hello and welcome to another edition of ProtoMet's First Impressions, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the first episode of Kamen Rider Revice. Although, before I actually get into talking about the episode, I do want to address the controversy regarding one of the show's voice actors, specifically the actor for the character of Vice. Yes, he did do something incredibly controversial, incredibly racist, and I do not condone that activity whatsoever. That having been said, I do feel that to just skip over this season, that everybody else who didn't do that, to skip over this season because one guy did it would be unfair to everybody else who didn't do that. So, I'm aware that that controversial thing happened, but gotta move forward. So, Revice. First off, I do like how the show opens with basically a prologue showing an excavation, an archaeological excavation that occurred in 1971, the year that the first Kamen Rider season came out. I also like the fact that it is an archaeological excavation because that's kind of a callback to Kamen Rider Kuga. Well done. But then it immediately jumps forward to the present day, and I immediately recognized one of the actors who had played the sniper character in the Kamen Rider Amazons miniseries from Amazon Prime. So, recognize him. Nice to see him back. They're discussing who's going to be selected for some upcoming project, while we also get a glimpse at the villains of the series, the Deadmans, who kind of have a mariachi theme to them. Although, to be a bit fair, they're probably basing the look on the movie Coco and its whole Day of the Dead aesthetic, because one of the guys is wearing an outfit while clearly having what looks like a ribcage ornament on his chest. So I'm definitely assuming they're going with a Day of the Dead theming for their costumes. But basically they're using stamps to summon demons. And that's what's going on. So yeah, this show's gimmick is stamps. But our main focus is on the main character. I want to say Daishi Igarashi. I might be getting that name wrong. Sorry. And he is working at a bathhouse. As you do. But it quickly becomes apparent that he has an inner voice that he sometimes reacts to. So it's a voice only he can hear, and of course we, the audience, know that it is the voice of his inner demon, who at the end of the episode is named Vice. And so yeah, it does cause him to react a bit more than you would expect, and as a result, kind of makes him look a little bit crazy for anybody who isn't the audience. So, there is that. But the big news is that his younger brother, has been selected by the organization Phoenix to be part of their group of soldiers to battle against the Deadmans. There's mention of a prior incident in which a mysterious seal appeared in the sky, and in this episode we get a news report of another similar seal appearing above Tokyo Bay. So there's that. We learn that the main character's dad is a little weird. Really loves to film everything. Yeah. But a lot of character moments happen pretty early on. But we also get the first time that Daishi is able to actually see his inner demon, Vice. And I like the fact that the monsters in this series are basically people's inner demons given form as literal demons. That's an interesting touch. Also, the show does seem to acknowledge that it's part of the opening title sequence does have bits of flashbacks to Kamen Rider's 50-year history, and even the show's logo has the number 50 as part of the logo. Interesting touch, I will admit. But we then get to the ceremony in which Daishi's brother and some other candidates are basically graduating, more or less. And it gets attacked by the dead man's. But before that happens, we get a bit where the scientist guy basically interrupts the guy giving a speech to basically pat his own dead dad on the back for coming up with a way to separate people from their inner demons, which is how the problem that's currently facing the series came to be. But he's also showing off a new device for a new soldier system, which of course we recognize as being the transformation belt. I mean, it really is kind of blatant considering that last week we had a crossover special with the previous season, which was really just showing off the new heroes. So a little bit of that is spoiled. But again, the dead men attack, and they start launching. They summon these like lesser demons, which in an action sequence later on, I realized kind of looked like the dangerous zombie form of Kamen Rider Gen from X-Aid, which I'm not upset about it. I like that. I like that. I think it's well done. But they start attacking, and the guy who was initially giving the speech decides to bust out the transformation belt and try and transform. It doesn't work, and instead results in him accidentally summoning another demon, which starts rampaging. We then get to Daishi's brother, who, as we learn, was actually the one selected to use the transformation belt, and he chokes. Like, he remembers what happened with the guy who was giving the speech and how he accidentally summoned a demon. He's thinking of all the people that are being attacked right now, and he just panics and does nothing. And so Daishi has to rush in and protect his brother. And to try and save everybody, he ends up forming a contract with his inner demon, who then manifests and starts going out of control. And he does attack the demons that are attacking, but then he also tries to eat Daishi's mom, who got attacked. So then the scientist dude basically tells Daishi to use the transformation belt to get his demon under control. And so he and his demon transform into Kamen Riders Revi and Vice. So that's where the Revice comes from. It's a combination of their names. And they end up kicking a lot of ass while also kind of arguing with each other, with Daishi complaining about the fact that Vice was going to eat his mom. And it's a pretty good fight scene that breaks out into the outdoors, and it does a good job of showing off just how powerful the Kamen Riders are in this season, as there is quite a bit of property damage just from this one fight. It's handled incredibly well and does a fantastic job of showing just how powerful these characters are. Also, I do want to talk a bit about the transformation belt. I like how it has the number 50 incorporated onto it as a reference to the 50th anniversary of Kamen Rider. And this was something that I noticed last week in the crossover episode. I like the fact that the way that the transformation belt works is it uses a stamp that clearly the toy has a magnet in it that allows for an image on the belt to manifest in a manner similar to an Magnadoodle, I think it's called. There was this toy that was like a whiteboard, had like metal filings in it, and you used like a pen that had a magnet, and you drew, and it would draw the magnet, the little iron filings to the surface, and kind of hold them there for a bit to make like a magnetic sketch. And that's what this is. I like that. I actually, at the time, couldn't remember if it was called a Magnadoodle or not. I'm still not actually sure if that's what it's called, but that's what I'm going for. And I'm sure a lot of people out there probably know what I'm talking about. A little sliding thing to erase it. Those are fun. But they managed to defeat the demons, and then Daishi just hands the belt back to the scientist dude because he doesn't want the job of protecting humanity. He's already got the job of protecting his family's bathhouse. We also get a moment midway through the episode where Daishi and his brother are kind of talking while in the bath, and his brother wonders why Daishi seemed to have given up on his dream to become a soccer star. We don't get any actual indication as to why, but I'm sure that'll pop up later. One thing I was a little disappointed didn't pop up in this episode, but which I know for a fact will, considering it showed up in the next episode preview. I was disappointed that they didn't have Revi and Vice combine into their dinosaur form. I know that that's probably going to be used incredibly sparingly from here on. And they're probably even going to get some different forms to go along with that. Like, not only different rider forms, but also different combining forms. But I do like that. I do like that element of them literally combining. That is an interesting thing. Again, I doubt that that's going to be something that they use throughout the series. It'll probably wind up being used very sparingly from probably only pop up in the early episodes and then kind of not be a thing. That's unfortunately the trend that a lot of the recent Kamen Rider shows have. They have really spectacular visual fights in early episodes, and then they just kind of mostly forget that they have these cool powers because they run out of their budget by that point. It's unfortunate, but yeah, I'm interested in checking out more of this series. It does set up the mystery. I'm curious to know a bit more about this Phoenix organization that are combating the Deadmans. Also, the fact that they are themselves named after a demon is interesting and something that I picked up on. And just, I don't know. I think it's got an interesting premise. I'm going to keep watching, because of course I am. I'm hoping for greatness, but, you know, the last couple seasons have been... But, so yeah. Until next time, this has been me, ProtoMet. Still here. Okay. Still here. Till next time, I'll see ya, and hopefully no teleportation shenanigans happen anymore. Bye.